those laws or those actions, those sins are much more severe than those that are not unto them. Okay, but also, not no but also, it's going to put fear in the people not to make that move again. Because if there's no fear, all you're going to have is a disaster. That's all you're going to have. And that's what you have right now in Great Britain. You have people changing their sexual organs, thinking it's okay for two men to pop each other, two women to get married and stuff like that. This is all confusion.
There's no judgment. In fact, give me that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You don't think it's sad that, like, I don't know, it makes me sad, but you don't think it's sad that we need fear?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does make me sad too.
No, but it makes me sad that we need fear to love one another.
I agree.
Like the fact that I need a fear to show him love, that doesn't make sense. I should be able to show you love without fear.
I agree.
I should be able to see you and your. I should be able to see you and your girlfriend.
Unfortunately, we're subject to vanity, man. We're subject to wickedness. We're inherently wicked by nature. Talk about people. All right. That's why I'm trying to tell you. And this goes back to the whole idea of, remember that part of the conversation we're talking about how you think people are like good or something like that. You're talking about how you meet people.
I think there's a bit of good in everybody.
Yeah, but now we're going to a conversation that people need to be, they're so wicked and crazy, they got to be controlled by laws. They need to be threatened by death. Even the Italian mafia said that. It said that that's like, a murder keeps people in order.
It does.
That's
I know, but it's true. Even though they're wicked niggas,
they're so far from God.
Even they're wicked, crazy niggas. But that was true. They said murder puts people in order. Because killing people, that's what puts people in order, unfortunately. You speaking to them is not going to have no effect. It's like speaking to an animal. If you talk to an animal and say, listen, don't go over and kill the animal, just going to look at you like
why don't you
won't do anyway.
Well, why not focus on the people who you can talk to and who will listen and gradually build?
And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing right now. We're trying to build a reasonable brothers. Excuse me.
Now, it's cool, brother, right? We're all in the spirit. But what we're saying is if we had an actual kingdom, if we had an actual society, this is what we would govern the people by, the laws. So if in this case we don't have a kingdom. Well, right now we're preaching the word, and according to the word, only the elect are going to receive this. But when the kingdom of heaven is set up, we're going to have to instill those laws to keep society in order. That's the way you keep society in order. It's by putting fear in the people.
Right.
But I think,
there's no love, because I don't cut. And let me interject too, because people can say, well, I love this and I love this guy or whatever. But are they? But doesn't mean they're going to actually do according to what you say because they love you. They're going to do according to what you say because they fear you.
See, that's beautiful, because the Most High understood that, and He had to teach us how to love one another, because He knew that we weren't going to do it naturally. He needed to teach us and say, listen, this is how you love one another. If you love Him, you're not going to steal from Him. You're not going to kill Him, but without justifiable reason, righteous reason. You're not going to covet His possessions. You're not going to commit adultery against Him. You're not going to do this or that against Him. That's how you love your neighbor.
Yeah, but He's got the scripture as well.
Wait, read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and 11, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
Did you hear that? Read that again,
Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
Yeah, and the reason why people is fully set in people's mind to do wickedness is because there's no judgment. But if there was a judgment, then it wouldn't be so fully in people to do evil. They'd be careful, they'd be more fearful, they'd think twice before they go and do a fuckery against another person, because they know that there's going to be a judgment if they do that.
But what about, like, you're right, but there is like a minority of people, like, when they do something, like, for example, if I stand here and I hurt you, first of all, I'm really hurting myself. That works that way anyway. We're connected on some level. And I'm going to feel more pain than you in the long run anyway. But if I hurt you right now and I see that it hurts you, and if I'm evolved enough where my empathy is there, and I see the pain it causes you, I'm never going to do that again. You know?
That depends on you.
That depends on me. But everybody
ain't like that.
But anybody ain't like that. again, it's probably not possible, but I often thought about that. But wouldn't it be beautiful if we can gradually build this kind of internal shit, as opposed to the judgment and the fear and the law? Like, wouldn't it be beautiful if people would transform empathetically? Like, if they understood how connected we are and that to hurt each
So
other.
some people are not like that. That's what I'm trying to tell. Some people are without that.
True, but what about the people that are like that? They don't even need a law sometimes because they know that for me to say a hurtful thing to him will hurt me, and that I don't want to upset him, and I don't even need to read anything to not do that to him, you know, right now in this moment, you know. And what if we could
all boils down to this? If you don't,
what if we could cultivate more of that? That's what I'm saying, you know. Like,
I mean, you could do that. I mean, but at the end of the
It'll take
day,
a long time.
you could be an Edomite and be like that. An Edomite means a so-called white person. Like one of these guys. See all of that right there? That's a man right there. And that guy,
That's a prime example.
that's a prime example.
But that's not what I'm talking about.
And that could be a caring person who wouldn't want to hurt you because they might hurt him in the long run. That same cross-dresser.
Yeah.
Is the Most High going to deliver that guy? Hell no.
No.
He's going to get a nuclear missile straight from Russia.
No, but it's his house.
His name.
No, but wait, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying, I'm not even talking about, I'm saying the mostly fundamentally, the inner weakness specifically to like harm and mess with other people. You know what I mean? Or maybe even this guy, like inside, if he just realized, man, why did I like do this, dress up like that, and change that? It's not normal. I'm just saying, like,
Is even a law on that?
I'm just saying if we get, I'm sure, you know, I'm saying if we get a kingdom, like you said, through control and fear.
Yeah, you're not gonna have that going. That's not gonna happen.
No, but you know what the problem is? Why it says the kingdom will last for like 1,000 years, but maybe I'm wrong. But why this kingdom never lasts forever? Because fundamentally the nature of man doesn't change.
Right.
And because we focus on the external, so we're gonna create.
That's right. Yeah.
So we're gonna create a kingdom, but it's gonna be based on control and not doing stuff due to fear.
Right.
But eventually someone will break out and do something fucked up because they're not changed inside and they're only doing good because of they're being controlled and they're afraid that if they do it they'll get smited or whatever. But if you change the inner state and not doing wrong because you know it's wrong, then that can last forever.
Yeah.
But I think in order to reach that we need like 1,000,000 years.
And there's a reason why. There's a reason why.
I don't know,
There's a
10,000
reason why the kingdom that we're in and now, and the kingdoms that have been previous to this kingdom,
Control and fear is
were
not the
being
way.
called beasts. The Bible calls them beasts. The reason why they're beasts because they don't rule with the laws and commandments of the Lord.
The beast is still here, man.
Yeah, right. This beast we're in right now.
We live in the beast.
This is the revival of the fourth beast, the Roman Empire. And this beast is gonna go straight into perdition. Thermonuclear destruction. Why? Because it doesn't rule with the laws and commandments from on high.
Yeah.
But this
Right, and that's why it's called a beast.
Yeah.
That's why.
But this beast
Listen,
is
wait.
it's more powerful than the other ones.
Some people they come up here, like brute beasts,
Yeah.
speaking evil of things they know nothing about. And some people they come up here like animals.
Yeah.
Like you can't speak. You can't expect an animal to understand words because the animal don't understand English. But if you beat the animal and make the animal feel pain, then it will understand. You will understand pain. Like if you whoop an animal, keep whooping it, eventually it's gonna understand. Don't do that because you're gonna get the whipping. It's called a reward and punishment.
Yeah.
If the animal don't go near it, it gets a reward. If it goes near it, it gets the whooping. And obviously it will be conditioned to understand not to do it.
Yeah, psychological.
Because if you speak to the animal, he's not gonna understand you. It's like a person. If you speak to a person that don't do that, he's gonna fuck you, man. I'm gonna do it anyway.
No, you're right.
Until the missile come, man.
But
then you realize, oh shit, I should have never did it.
True. But what I'm saying is that like will there ever be a day, like it's just something I think about where we don't have to learn through pain anymore. Because and even that
Pain.
no, but there's got to be a way other than like that
Well, I was
animal
saying
or that
it's-
child or that child rather than me like a child that's rather than me hitting him, I sit down and I talk. And,
You know, scripture says Israel shall be perfect.
hold on.
Righteous.
Like for example, like I know like different parenting even. Like I have like a friend, she's like a singer, and the way she talks to her kid, she's just very stern. And when he does something wrong, she talks to him and she explains what happens when he does something wrong. And he like hears her and then he doesn't do it. But not everyone's like that. And then I know other parents who gotta hit their kid. And what I'm saying is that
I mean, really.
is it always good to do it through pain and I get where you're coming from, but it's always good to do it through fear, pain, control.
Obviously, not everybody needs to go through that process of pain.
No, I'm not saying
Hey,
don't
hey, listen,
pain.
listen. Not everybody needs to go through that process of pain.
Yeah,
Some
but
people
that's what
have
I'm
that
saying. Some people
that
do.
internal
Some people do, some people don't.
understanding, that natural, you could say, empathy or sympathy that I wouldn't want someone doing that to me. So why would I do that to somebody else? Some people understand that naturally. They don't need the arse whipping.
What if
But
there's
some people don't give a shit, man.
That's true.
That's why a lot of them are in prison or
Or in
60
jail.
underneath the ground or suffering they're in a wheelchair because they won't listen. They
had no
don't
fear.
learn
They had
the
no
8th
fear.
time.
Yeah.
All right?
Exactly.
When the car hits them. Anyway, you know.
Yeah, this is Hebrews 8 because he
I know,
he spoke about something about how there has to be an internal change, something to that effect, and also the whole thing about pain as well. This is Hebrews 8 verse 10. It says, "For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days. Saith the Lord, I will put my laws into their mind," meaning the inward part, right? Or which is a part of the inward part, "and I will write them in their hearts. And I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for all shall know me,
Right.
from the least to the greatest.
He's to the greatest good.
For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquity will I remember no more." So in other words, like you were saying, which is correct, there's going to be an internal change. And also there's going to be withdrawn from pain. But it's mainly going to go to these people, all right? Because they're obviously the children of Israel, and they need to be the priests of the Most High to govern society, all right? So give me Revelations 22. If you can, brother, give me Revelations 22. I know it's cold as hell, man, but you still got to do the Lord's work, man.
Like,
what?
Here's the question: but aren't these people like also like in a way like meant to act as an example? So, for example, like if they do it, isn't that meant to show the other? Like,
Yeah.
you know, Benjamin says, if I can change within, that means you all can start to change within, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, if all of these tribes, not all of these tribes, but let's just say the governing body of Israel, if we show an example on earth on how to conduct on the earth, all of them other nations have to follow. That's why these people were actually created. Their main purpose on the earth was to be rulers and governors and priests. That was the reason why we're actually on this planet. Right. Okay. And the reason why we're not in that position of power is because we didn't lay out our duties.
Right.
Okay.
We created for judgment.
Because as the nation of Israel, we're supposed to be, as a nation, representatives of the Most High. Okay? But we're coming back to that though. But yeah, get Revelations 22. Verse, let me see.
And what about like?
Yeah, just hold on.
Yeah, no,
and then I'll get back to you. But yeah, because there's going to come a time where there's not going to be no pain.
Be careful with it.
It's not going to be no pain. I'm going to be getting a new Bible now. Oh, man. Yeah, get the scripture where it says, there shall be no more crying or something.
Careful with my Bible now.
Revelation 21.
Your Bible's probably stronger than mine because of the pages. They're going, bro.
You look at
22? Yeah, verse 20,
21?
chapter 22.
You 21 or 20?
I didn't think that I'd be spending my evening.
Oh yeah,
No. You're probably gonna go and think about
21:4. 21:4.
Always.
21:4.
Yeah, there shall be no more sorrow. Yeah, read that.
Revelation chapter 21, verse 4. And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain. For the
Right,
former,
there shall be neither any more pain going,
for the former things have passed away.
because we brought all these things before us, or unto us. Sin, going against the Heavenly Father. That's why we're going through the pain, we're going through suffering, we're going through suffering because of sin. So as I just read to you in Hebrews the 8th chapter, how the Most High is going to put the laws in our inward part. In other words, you see how it is, it's natural for us to go out. It's natural to do the wrong thing, right? In the kingdom of heaven is set up, it's going to be natural for us to do the right thing, okay? And the right thing is keeping the laws. So just imagine if you have that mentality where it's natural for you to do the right thing. There's not going to be no more death, no more sorrow, no more pain. Because when you do wrong, then pretty much the wrong that you've done ricochets back onto you. All right, but that's going to stop. Go on, brother.
And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful.
Yeah.
And he said unto me, It is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely.
Which is the truth.
Right.
Okay, pursuant to John 7 and 38. Get John 7 and 38, brother.
You're thirsty, right?
Yep.
Meaning you're dehydrated. And
Exactly.
you need that H2O to hydrate yourself, man.
Spiritually?
Yeah, spiritually. You're thirsting for this word, man. Like you're thirsty. That's why you're up here. You want more water. You know?
I'm also enjoying the conversation, so
No, it's all right. Yeah, go on.
John chapter 7 verse 38, He that believeth on me, as the scripture have said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
Right, so the words that we're bringing, that we're showing you through the scriptures, is the water of life. Okay, if you take heed unto this, you'll be abundantly wise like we are. Okay, and that's the whole thing. But what I want to revert back to is the whole idea of sorrow and pain and suffering. Now, the reason why the Lord is going to do away with that only unto these people here is because obviously the Lord loves his people that he chose. He chose these people only and he has loved them. Now the other nations now, they're going to be at peace to a certain degree. Okay? All right? Well, they're going to be at peace overall if they keep the commandments. But there's going to be one nation, and this is another topic we're going to go into. There's going to be one nation that's going to be exterminated. And that's the nation of Esau and Edom.
Can I just bring up one little thing?
Go on.
Because you said something about when.
I did.
Yeah, you said something about when can it be a thing where you won't have to learn through pain or something like that. I was trying to bring us real quick.
And then I'll get into that later.
Hold on, let me bring something.
But you know though, brother, can I finish what I was saying and then you can go back? Because it's just a small little thing anyway. And then you can go back into what Yeah, so in other words, so there's one nation that's going to be on the planet that's going to be exterminated. And the reason why they're going to be exterminated is because the Most High made them, okay, or put them in that position to play out the wicked. So there's not going to be no more of that no more. So being that there's not going to be no more of that, let's get rid of these people. So let's get over that one. Yeah, he's going to be.
It's funny, I have a Bible in my bag.
Oh, you do? They're over down 1 and 18. Because what's going to happen when the kingdom is set up, like he's been saying, we're going to have slaves, and the so-called Europeans, they're going to be a part of that, and the nations, they're going to be enslaved for 1,000 years in terms of building our society, building our structures up and everything. Once that's all said and done, then we're going to release the nations, give them, they're going to be free and live their life and have their own little governance. But their government is going to be under the government of the Most High, which is Israel.
Right.
Okay, go on, brother. And in the nation of Esau, they're not going to be on the planet anymore. We're talking about the so-called white people. Go on.
Obadiah chapter 1 verse 18, And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord have spoken it.
So when you read the scripture and it speaks about the house of Israel or the house of Esau or the house of Elam or whatever, that's talking about the entire nation.
Shit, I want some white people around, they're not old, man.
They're all going to be wiped away. They're all going to be wiped out.
Fucked up.
Yeah, but there's sense to what he's saying, because remember I told you you're the seed of your father. Remember how you said that? So say if we got rid of the majority of white men, right, and only one was left alive, and he escaped somehow. He just jumped out the window,
Sounds like some
dived into the
sounds
ocean.
like a good movie.
Yeah, and he just got away somehow, and we didn't know about it. Somewhere down the line, he's gonna find a woman and impregnate that woman,
His seed.
and that seed is gonna come back again.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we'd have a big problem on our hands all over again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So their whole race needs to be wiped out.
Yeah.
The whole men.
Yeah.
Because the race comes from Raza,
Which means seed.
Seed.
Arousal, which means seed.
race comes from what Raza, the
You're
race
right,
comes
right.
from the man.
Yep.
That's what the word progenitor produced the genes.
Yeah.
Progenitor
Yep.
produces the
Before.
gene.
Yep.
It's the man. The title progenitor is in reference to a man, not a woman.
Yep.
All right, because the man produces the genes. So, that's why when you was to conquer a nation of people, what did you do? The aim was to get rid of the men.
Yep.
The woman, you just use them for sex or
terrible.
prostitution, because a woman she doesn't produce the seed. She just carries the seed. She receives.
Well,
So the aim, we're going to
You need
wipe
both.
out the whole nation, so they don't ever rise in the earth ever again. Because every time Esau rises in the earth, all he want to do is be a faggot, man.
bring
All you want to
wickedness.
do is bring that wickedness.
Yeah.
Even as far as Alexander the Greek, going as far back as Cain, man.
Yeah.
When Cain, he was the first white man. He was the first murderer. He was the first murderer
well,
in existence.
but also historically, what I'm saying, but you're right. What I'm saying is that's true.
And
At the same time, like,
This
but I
really
still,
enhances
but
the earth.
but I still wonder. Yeah, but more than that, the internal wickedness that's inherent can be inherent in everyone.
no.
It's
that's
a real
not gonna happen.
In them.
No,
Obviously, I understand in everybody.
No, but-
because we're wicked too.
Everybody. But
yeah.
what I'm saying is that even historically, like for example, in Egypt, the first slave masters were white people. Like,
Yeah.
they were white.
Yeah.
First slave masters, Egyptians were black.
Yeah.
And there were slave masters.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who mistreated black Israelites.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what, they might be gone, but that's what I wonder all the time. That's not gonna solve. In order to have that final kingdom, that internal shift has to happen. Because if you get,
Yeah, but
it doesn't
guess
matter
what?
if you get rid of the whole race. Because even amongst non-white race, there'll be someone that will rise up and be like, I want power.
No, they
and I'm
won't. No, they
greedy."
won't. Give me the
No.
book of Daniel 7.
They
So
won't.
let
They
me say
won't.
this.
They won't unless the internal change. Because like, look, I don't know. We could.
No, but check this out. What the reason why I say they won't, because according you see that what the Most High is going to do, the Most High is going to make us perfect, and we're going to have absolute, complete, uncomprehended power. All right, and when we have that uncomprehended power, these nations,
Uncompromising.
right, uncompromising as well. Right. You know, sometimes we use big words, sometimes we
words,
don't. You know?
Yeah.
But the point of the matter is the Most High is going to give us uncomprehendable kind of power that man has never seen
But
before.
after the internal change happens, right?
Right, within
Yeah,
us.
Because if they're going to change and you get power, then it corrupts. all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because you're right about that. So we're going to
Great power comes
so in order for us, exactly.
Great power comes
So-
great responsibility. Yeah,
Right. So
Spider-Man.
in order for us to maintain that power, we have to be perfect in mind, body, and
Yeah.
soul.
Yes.
First and foremost.
Divine
To set
divine
the
power.
complete order of the earth on earth.
Incorruptible.
Exactly. But another question that I have in regards to that, like, in order to be incorruptible, don't you first have to go? Each person has to go deep within their own soul and see their own darkness and wickedness. No, I'm not joking. Like, in order for you to be incorruptible, even you, or you laughing, or anybody here, you got to go home and look in the mirror and be
Of
like,
course, yeah.
how good am I to my
obtain
neighbor?
this-
How good am I to the next man? How good am I to this guy? Do I judge people when I see them? Do I have thoughts about someone
You mean
without fully
examining
knowing them or
yourselves,
their life?
examining yourself.
Yeah, you need to examine yourself. So before you get given power over there, or
Of course. That's what we're doing right now.
You need
That's
to
what
be
we're doing now.
crystal clean.
That- Obviously, we can't be perfect.
And do it by the standard of the Bible. That's
By the standard
the first,
of the
the first and foremost thing.
First and foremost, on top of that, know the truth of your own heart, and to know that within you also lies a shadow and a darkness. And
Yeah,
until,
of
you,
course,
and
of
until you
course.
see that and you conquer that, power is not safe in any man.
Of course. That's why we ask for repentance.
It's divine, like
That's
I
why
say,
we
it's
repent.
divine
That's why we
power.
examine
It's
ourselves.
it's not handed from another man.
No,
It's from
any
God.
power, even divine power.
Divine power.
Divine power.
And we don't question God. We believe God when He talks to us. We don't need to question. That's faith, and we don't have no doubts about
No,
that.
I don't mean to question God. Question yourself.
It talks about all the other nations.
Divine
They go-
power.
Bring out the scripture. Bring out the scriptures. I'm finished talking now. Get back to him.
That goes hand in hand with the same. You know what? Okay.
I have to go.
Yeah, but
Yeah, nice one, nice one.
that's-
No, but what
that's-
he
Nice
was
one,
saying is like true. It's like you see you later, man.
Yes, good meeting you, man.
Yeah, you too, man. Have a good evening.
Bless, bless.
Like he was like absolutely right. Like, you know, the divine power, but then knowing your human self fully in order for the divine power to integrate and function properly. Because it's the human part of us that can corrupt.
Exactly,
And
because we're
twist
corrupt.
and
Right
the
now,
divine
we're
power,
corrupted.
because we're corrupted. Yeah. So
Yeah.
all
This
of
is
us,
why
all of us.
Yeah, all of us. But this is why you have to repent back to the Heavenly Father so that we can obtain immortality. This immortality is going to be obtained through His work. Go on, brother.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, let me get
No,
this
no, no.
one. And then I'll get back to you.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
Yeah, go on.
Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from...
Actually, skip the verse now. Go to, I believe it's verse 25, where it says you should inherit an everlasting kingdom. Go on, brother.
Daniel 7 and 25.
Yes.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High,
Yeah, that's talking about the so-called white man as he stands right now. Go on.
and think to change the times and laws, and they shall be given into his hands until a time, and times, and the dividing of time.
Yep.
But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end.
Yep.
And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High,
Children of Israel, Israelites. Go on.
whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom.
His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and it all makes sense when you put it together, because in order for us to have an everlasting kingdom, we have to have an everlasting state of mind, immortality, to be able to rule forever and ever. Because you can't rule forever and ever in a corrupted kind of flesh. You can't.
Right.
That's why the so-called white man in this particular empire as written right now is going down. The reason why it's going down because he's ruling through the flesh,
Right.
which through the flesh brings forth death.
Yeah, there's nothing good can come off the flesh. Man.
Yeah,
I think the flesh profiteth not.
right. But the spirit
Yeah,
quickens.
exactly. The flesh don't profit now.
Exactly.
That's why, like I said, all these kingdoms were considered in the eyes of the Most High as being beasts. They were the savage rulerships, where men that's ruled by their own wisdom and understanding, and not the wisdom and understanding of the Lord. And that's why they all fell. That's why they all fell to ruin, just like this kingdom. All right, the kingdom to come is going to be ruled by the wisdom, knowledge, and commandments of the Heavenly Father, which is what will make it eternal. All right. So read that Isaiah 2 verse 1.
Isaiah chapter 2 verse 1, the word that Isaiah, the son of Amoz, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem.
So Isaiah saw this in a vision. He saw the kingdom. He saw the other nations. If I go read it.
And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills.
Do you know what that means? Does that literally mean there's going to be a big mountain and then there's going to be a small hill and it's going to be exalted above the other hills? And I was talking about we as a nation, we're going to be exalted above the other nations, man.
Deuteronomy 7:6.
Basically, in a nutshell, the hills is talking about the other nations, and then the Lord's mountain is going to be established above them. Just like how it said in Deuteronomy 7 verse 6, thou art holy people unto me above all other people. So we're going to be put back in that glorious estate once more. At this time, that's it, forever. So that's going to happen. So we're going to be the Lord's house.
Right,
Meaning we're going to be redeemed back unto the Lord. We're going to be with our God again, man. Meaning the Lord's face is going to shine on us, man. Because right now, the Most High pretty much has
Cast us off.
cast us off away because of our sins, man. Alright, but now when Yahweh Shai, the one who even called Jesus Christ, will come back, he's gonna reconcile us, man. Adopt us back again. Alright, so we're gonna be the sons of the living God, man.
And he's already doing that now. And this is why you have the prophets out here. We're here. The reason why we're set up here, and I'm not just saying us, just us, because you have a lot of guys like us around the world. Wear the same garments, wear the same robes, say the same message. The reason why we're rising up is to reconcile our people back to that Father, and then ultimately when the kingdom's established will be what you said.
Right. Those who don't, that's right.
And all nations shall flow unto it, and many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the power of Jacob.
Right.
and he will teach us of his ways.
Exactly.
So we're gonna be teaching the other nations, them same Chinese people, talking about they want to take over the world.
Which are the Moabites.
Yeah, the Moabites, okay, the East Indians, the Edomites, okay, the Arabs.
Ishmaelites.
The Arabs are actually finally gonna come into us now, because we're going to them to learn about Muhammad, man. But they're gonna come to us to know about Yahweh Shai. All right, to learn about the laws and commandments. All right, so they're gonna come to us, and we're gonna teach them of the Most High's ways. So they're gonna respect us and revere us. We're gonna get the respect that we're not getting on this side.
Times 1,000, man.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. So, because right now the other nations, they only follow us in terms of trend and fashion. But in the kingdom, they're gonna follow us in terms of everything, man. Okay, morals. Okay, example of how to be. Okay, go ahead.
And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths.
They will walk in his paths. Go ahead.
For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem, and he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people.
And I just want to say this is that they're going to learn of our ways. Like right now, all the other nations, they wear suit and tie, because that's Esau's mode of operation.
Right.
In the kingdom, all nations, they're going to wear the garment with the fringes.
With the robes, yeah.
They're going to wear the fringes. They're going to wear the fringes. The Moabites, they're going to wear their beards. Okay?
And they're gonna keep the law.
They're going to keep the law.
Yeah.
Their woman is going to, when they're on their period, they're going to be put away for a while. Okay? For a certain period of time according to the law. After they've given birth, it's 40 days if it's a girl.
No, it's a boy. It's a boy, it's 40 days.
If it's a boy, yeah, exactly. If it's a boy, it's 40 days. If it's a girl, it's 80 days, man. Okay? There's going to be certain ceremonies of marriage. Okay? Certain, if there's any homosexual, because other nations, they're still going to be going off. That's why I was going back to what you were saying about if the whole, like, pain, like, how to stop people from doing evil is by punishment, or afflicting them with pain, or threatening them with death. Is that ever going to stop? And my answer to that is no. That will never stop. And I'm going to bring that a little verse to back that up.
Amongst other nations it won't.
That among our people, we're going to be perfect. So that's not going to be among us. Right? For the other nations, they're not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
So they're still going to be battling the flesh. So now this is Sirach, or Ecclesiastes chapter 42, verse 23. It says, all these things...
That's just a part of the Bible.
Right. All these things live and remain forever for all uses, and they are all obedient. All things are double, one against another, and you have made nothing imperfect. Okay? Right. All things are double, one against another. So you can't have good without there being bad. You can't have there being no pain without there being pain. There's always going to be one against another. Okay? So there's always going to be one against another. In the kingdom, there's going to be pain. But that pain is going to be for the other nations. Right?
I got a question. What about these saying about the kingdom? The kingdom, there is going to be an external, but it's like we were talking about internal shift.
Yeah.
There's that saying that the kingdom of heaven is within, or the kingdom of God is within.
Yeah.
So
it's
not
necessarily.
No, but I think no, maybe I'm wrong again. But maybe, what if it's both? What if in order to have a functional external kingdom, like the inner state?
No, it's going to be
maybe
physical.
physical also.
Yeah.
But what if it's also on top of that a metaphor for?
But it would be internal too.
For an internal shift.
It would have to be
like the kingdom of God is within.
Yeah, and it's true.